then there were 4. The Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, and your San Francisco 49ers are through to the next round. San Francisco secured their spot in the NFC Championship with a 19-12 victory over the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. And with that win, the 49ers advanced to the conference championship for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. This is your 49ers postseason matchup preview presented by Webex. I'm your host, Lindsey Pallares. Sunday's win was the 12th straight for San Francisco. And up next for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers is a date with the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. That means, of course, last weekend's divisional round game was the final home game of the 2022 campaign. The rest of the postseason will be played on the road. So let's take a look back to the sights and sounds of Levi's Stadium with wide receiver Deebo Samuel. He was our featured player in everyone's favorite Mic'd Up segment.
It's gonna start with us, and it's gonna finish with us. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Take over today, baby. Come on, let's go. Do your thing.
Yeah! Come on. Come on. Let's go. Everything on the line for the person next to you. Come on. George, put us in your backpack then. Put us in your book bag.
Just gotta throw it, dog.
Hey, put us in your book bag, bro.
And our player guest today that was alongside Deebo Samuel, wearing down that Dallas defense, veteran tight end George Kittle.
Hi.
So George, you had everybody, you and the team had everybody on the edge of their seats in that Dallas game. It's tied 9-9 in that 3rd quarter. Did you ever have a doubt in your mind that you guys were gonna find a way to win it?
Oh, no, not at all. I know you can't really have doubt in your mind. Like, you just got to believe in yourself, got to believe in your team, believe in, you know, everybody on that football field that's helping you guys win. And we have such a talented team, a talented roster, top to bottom. Guys who've been playing at a high level, guys who you might not have thought have been a great player, who is playing like a great player. Like, everyone's just playing at a high level. And we knew that, hey, as long as we take care of the football, everything's going to turn out the way we wanted it to, like we've been doing all year, and that's all we did. As offense, we took care of the ball. Our defense got 2 turnovers, and we played well.
Your juggling catch was the momentum-changing play of the game. I know you said you were being dramatic during that, but as you are bobbling and this ball has great hang time, what's actually going through your mind?
I thought I was just going to stick it, and then when it didn't stick, I was like, all right, just bring it back to you. And I probably had like a 10-minute conversation in my own head as it like hits my fingers, hits my head, and I was like, oh gosh, no. I was like, I just can't. Gotta get it. And I finally got my fingertips on it. And I was able to, I saw the corner coming out last second, so I was able to turn a little bit to avoid any contact. But yeah, no, it was really fun and it was really dramatic. But yeah, everything went complete slow motion for me. It was really cool.
That's awesome. All right, so you get back to the huddle. What is the reaction from, the offensive unit after that?
Kind of just laughing at me. They're like, holy cow, dude. Like, are you serious? One, you made that, you took way too long to catch that, but good job. Way to get us to spark. And I was like, hey, man, just give me an opportunity. Just trying to help out here.
Yeah, I think everybody breathed a sigh of relief.
I did too.
I was in a rolling chair and I actually did like a full circle when you caught it because I didn't want to, yes, one of those, and then when I turned back, you'd already caught it. So I knew it ended well.
Thank goodness.
All right, so other impact player of the game, Christian McCaffrey.
Pretty good.
Hauls in the only touchdown for you guys on Sunday. That makes it 12 for him in a San Francisco uniform. Outside of the impact he has on the field, just what has he brought to this locker room and this team?
Wow. Well, I mean, you guys see it all in the film. He's fantastic. You can put him at wide receiver, you put him at running back. He runs downhill, he makes guys miss, he runs routes, catches everything, catches the deep ball. He's everything you want in a football player. Off the field, he's one of the first guys in the locker room every day. He's working hard. He's focused on his body. He's studying the playbook. He's meeting with coaches. He's just on top of all of his stuff, and that's what you want in a teammate. He's incredibly professional. He's incredibly respectful of all of his teammates. He's an open book to his teammates. Like, rookies will talk to him, random D linemen talk to him, corners. Like, everybody wants to talk to Christian, and he has time for everybody too. So, like, he's everything you want in a teammate. He's been fantastic for us, and just kind of you see his work ethic every single day. And when you see a guy like that who was all-pro at 2 positions in 1 season, pretty good. Probably should be a Pro Bowl player, but that's just my call. I don't know anything though. But like when you see a guy who's of that caliber works the way that he does, it inspires guys and other guys where you have young guys who are trying to learn, they're like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be done.
That's the gold standard.
That's the standard, and he's playing at this level. I want to play at that level. I'm going to do what he does. And then when you get all your guys doing all the good stuff, that's how you make a really good football team. And I think that's a majority of our team has figured that out.
So you guys are locker mates too.
We are.
Kind of seems like you've become fast friends. What's he like when he's on the rare moments that he's not locked into football?
Christian's really funny.
Okay.
He is. He's got a fun sense of humor. He loves memes on the internet. Loves memes. I respect the heck out of it.
Meme king. Okay.
Oh, I'm self-proclaimed meme king. I love the internet. Internet's so much fun. It's undefeated at all times. You can be humbled so quickly. But he loves finding funny memes. Him and Juice will send me some fun stuff once in a while. But he's a funny dude. He has a great sense of humor. But yeah, I will say this, he loves good food and he loves to hang out. And I respect both those things because those are two things that I love to do as well.
All right. Well, you guys will have plenty of that time at a later date.
Like 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like that.
In due time. All right. Looking ahead to this weekend.
Yes.
Third conference championship appearance in 4 years for you.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know things move quickly, but how do you take in the moment before you start game planning for Philly, if you did at all?
I mean, every single week I go into like, we play on Sunday, then that Monday or Tuesday, you just got to take time to yourself and just be like, this is who we're playing this week. Think about it a little bit, whether it's a road game, home game, but just take into the account that I'm playing in the NFL. You just got to really appreciate that moment. It's been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. And the fact that I'm playing in the NFC Championship game at the Link in Philly, I mean, that's like storybook, right? Like that's what we all dream about as kids. You want to play in the biggest moments and, you know, have an opportunity to perform at a high level, and that's what we have right in front of us. So I think we're just all really excited for this moment. I think at the beginning of the year when a lot of people were, you know, calling for all of our heads, we weren't playing at the highest
Like
level.
week 7, I think, yeah.
But hey, we've done pretty well for that. We've lasted. We came together. We focused on the right stuff, and our team has played at a really high level for the last 12 weeks. And so we're just going to try to continue that momentum. And hey, there's things that we could get better at too. We watched the tape, and so we're going to try to get a little bit better, a little bit more precise on some things. And so then we come out hopefully on Sunday looking a lot cleaner. You
talked about it. You walk into Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday. Played them last week 2 of the 2021 season, so set the scene for us. What's the atmosphere going to be like now that it's a postseason game with Philly fans?
I mean, if you watched last week when they played the Giants, they were on it from the start. The fans were loud. I think my favorite thing about Philly is that they hate everybody that's not Philly, and I respect the hell out of that. I really do. That's that's kind of what sports is all about, just hating everybody and only loving your own team, and I love everything about it. So it's going to be incredible. The atmosphere is going to be wonderful. They're going to be so loud. They're going to be yelling at us. Probably yelling at my family in the stands too. Can't wait. You guys are so nice. But I mean, it's everything that you want in a Sunday night football game. It's going to be so much fun.
You guys haven't had to get on a plane since week 17.
That's crazy.
For Vegas,
and that
which is cool.
Which doesn't even count.
Yeah,
like, that was an hour flight.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure the faithful will show up.
They'll show.
But there will be some Philly fans involved. How much does all of that factor into the game?
A little bit here and there. Like when we show up to a road trip and we see all of our fans, because our fans travel so well, and if there's available tickets, they're going to buy them up. And I don't know how many available tickets are going to be this week because Philly fans are like that. And so, however much red that we see in the stands, I'm going to appreciate it. But and they're going to cheer really loud. And we're going to love it. Their fans are going to be super loud, try to get us a false start, just not let us talk, not let us hear anything.
Get you on the silent count.
Yeah, get you on the silent count, changes up things a little bit. But, at the end of the day, we've played in big games this whole season. We have guys who have played in huge games their entire career, and we have great leaders on this team. So I think it's going to be an unreal atmosphere, and I don't think there's anything this year that has prepared us for, the loudness and the intensity of this game. I think the whole season has prepared us for it, but this will be probably the loudest stadium that we play in besides Mexico City. And
it was pretty loud, but the cheers
awesome.
were on
They
your
were for
side,
us,
yeah.
so it's going to be a lot of boos and a lot of yelling at us, and it's going to be pretty fun.
All right, so on paper, these teams pretty evenly matched, top 2 defenses, top 5 offenses, a lot of sacks. I think it's 114 between the 2 teams.
It's pretty good.
So what is the difference in this game?
Wow. What's the difference going to be? I mean, both rosters are talented. They have guys at every single position that are playing at a high level. We have guys at every position that are playing at a high level. I think every single person that's probably been on your show has said, hey, what the keys to victory are hold on to the football, force turnovers, and score points. hey, it's going to be like every football game. You know, it's going to be in a hostile environment. We can't give them reasons for their crowd to be louder than they're already going to be. And so I think our defense is going to do a really good job. They're going to try to force turnovers early, and if they can get us the ball quick and we can get on them early, kind of try to take their fans out of it, I think that'll be huge for our momentum. But hey, the thing about Philly, they're never going to back down from a fight, and they're never going to quit. And so it's going to be a full 60-minute game of violence and grit and super fun times.
So, well documented, you love to block.
I do.
As dynamic as a pass catcher as you are.
I block everybody on Instagram.
There you go. So, pretty talented Dallas defensive front you guys saw last week.
They were talented, yes.
How good of a primer was it for what's coming on Sunday?
I think, yeah, Dallas had one of the most talented D-lines that we faced all season. Micah Parsons is an incredible football player. He's got speed that you can't really compare to anything on a D-line. And they've good athletes all over the D-line. I think Philly's a little bit different. Philly's full of all vets. They have 6 former first-round draft picks on the D-line. Fletcher Cox is still playing at a high level. They have Ndamukong Suh, right? That's crazy. I saw Ndamukong Suh play when I was a sophomore in college. He was playing for Nebraska, and I saw him like rip people's heads off in college.
Still in the game.
Can't wait to play Ndamukong Suh again. I mean, they've got guys that are playing at a high level. Brandon Graham on the edge, you know, he likes to talk a lot of trash, and that's what he's really good at. He's also very low to the ground, explosive, strong, knows offensive plays. So they have talent all over the football field, and it's going to be our scheme and our players are just going to have to deal with the noise and deal with their ability and deal with their veteran leadership and just try to come out there and execute.
So Brock felt a lot of that pressure last week, took care of the ball, escaped when he could, got it into your guys' hands. What advice do you pass down for the upcoming challenge in the NFC Championship game? It's his first start at this level.
Yeah, I mean, most quarterbacks, not gonna lie, don't even make it to a championship game in their entire career. So Brock's doing it after, this is his 9th start coming up?
8th.
Good job, Brock, you got it, man. No, I mean, he's played in big games in college. I think Las Vegas was a great prep for us because that was, while it was a day game, kind of felt like a night game. The atmosphere was there, the points were there. All I ever say to anybody on my team, but like specifically young guys, is like, don't think like you're not doing this by yourself. You have a roster full of talented football players. You've got Deebo, you've got Ayuk, you got Trent Williams, you got Mike McGlinchey, you've got Elijah Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey. Hey, like just take a deep breath. Just focus on what you've been doing for your entire life, which is throwing the football to your guys, and we'll take care of the rest, man.
All right. And let's give our faithful a shout out. They have supported you guys all season, and they're going to have your back in Philly too.
Niners faithful, thank you guys. Because you guys went 8-1 at home, right? 8-1? Maybe 9-1?
9-1?
Yeah. Lost one game at home.
10-1.
10-1? Lost one game at home. Faithful, that's on you guys. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for showing out. You guys were loud. You guys had so much fun. The atmosphere was fantastic. You guys are fantastic on the road. Can't wait to see you in Philly. Can't wait to see all of that red, all the arguing on, outside the stadium, inside the stadium with their fans. Can't wait. Just check your pulse because it's going to be a fun one.
All right, there you have it. Thanks so much, George.
Thank you.
All right, so it's wheels up for Philly on Friday. And as we mentioned just a second ago, the 49ers haven't had to play anywhere other than Levi Stadium since Week 17 when they traveled to Vegas. They'll be at Lincoln Financial Field for the NFC Championship, where the fans are as enthusiastic as they come. And the Eagles, at least on paper, match up well with the 49ers. Head coach Kyle Shanahan addressed the media on Wednesday and shared his thoughts on the team's upcoming matchup.
You guys beat them in week 2 last year. Jalen Hurts looked a little bit raw still at that time. What did you see? What have you seen about him that has improved and that team in general that's different from when you guys beat them in week 2 last year?
He's just gotten more consistent. I mean, you can see in that game the ability that he has and what he was close to doing a number of times. I mean, he made some big throws in that game, and we contained him fairly well, but I think we were up 17-3, like with 5 minutes to go, and then he started getting going again, and they brought it right into a one-score game. So you could see the ability that he had real early on, and I know towards the end of that year he started getting on a roll, and that's when did they make the playoffs last year? Yeah, that's why they ended up making it, because how good he got after that. But we could see signs of it in that game, and now just watching him this year, hearing about it, he's borderline NFL MVP, and then turning the film on these last 2 days, he's just like how he was with potential, and now he's doing it down and down out.
Joining us for our insider chat on Webex is Omar Ruiz of the NFL Network. Omar, thanks for stopping by. You look like you're in familiar territory.
Yeah, just downstairs in the auditorium room. Busy day on Championship Wednesday for the 49ers, getting ready for the Eagles on Sunday. But really be a busy week with all the press conferences and availability as they get set for their third NFC Championship game in 4 years. So it's old hat for them at this point.
It's just the usual order of business around here. Well, Omar, if I remember correctly, you were here week 13 when Brock Purdy took his first snaps as QB1. He came in mid-game for that Miami Dolphins game. What did you see from him that you liked then, and what type of growth have you seen in him 8 appearances later?
Well, I think what we all saw against Miami Dolphins was just a good quarterback, and it made it more remarkable in that he was a 7th-round pick and the last pick of the draft and third-string quarterback and getting thrust in there behind Jimmy G, in his injury that particular day. But he just showed himself to be a good quarterback, and he's continued to show himself to be a good quarterback. And I think, there are things that we may not see in watching the games, but we learn after the fact. For instance, on George Kittle's circus catch on Sunday, when he said that he wasn't even on the read, but it was because of Brock Purdy's high-level quarterback play that he was able to identify Kittle in the middle of the field, who was flagging for his attention, and then still be able to throw downfield with enough accuracy in the spur of the moment to make a ball that eventually he hauled in.
Eventually.
After he first contacted it. But it's little things like that has shown his growth, that it just looks the same from when we first started watching him play in that Dolphins game, but he's shown tremendous improvement behind the scenes, and we're continuing to see that here week in and week out.
You look at last week's win against Dallas, and it wasn't filled with the offensive fireworks that we're used to seeing from the 49ers, but another lights-out performance by the defense, and Robbie Gould going 4 for 4 on those field goals. In what ways was a gritty game like that good as the team heads into the NFC Championship against the #1 seed in the conference?
To prove that they could do it at this level, because they were so dominant in the regular season, and of course closing with 10 straight in the regular year and 2 in the playoffs here, and even against the Seahawks, once they got rolling, they couldn't stop them. And that's how really the back half of the season was for them. So for them to be able to grind it out, win a dogfight type of game. And I think if we're being honest, if they're going to win in Philadelphia, it's going to be a similar style type of game. I don't know if Brock Purdy is going to go into Philadelphia and be able to win a shootout and, throw for 6 touchdowns or anything like that. So if they're going to win, they're going to have to protect the football, run the ball, stop the run, all the things that, are required in a playoff run, and to play as physical as Philadelphia is going to bring to them. So I think they're up for the challenge, certainly. But yeah, to prove that they could win that style of play at this level of the playoffs was a good sign for them.
Now turning the page, we start looking at the game prep for the Eagles. You heard from head coach Kyle Shanahan earlier today, a pretty lengthy injury report headed into that first practice of the week. Some key players, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, all working through some injuries. In your opinion, do the 49ers need all 3 of them to be successful in Philly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have to have some semblance of normalcy. And obviously we know that they're not 100%, but I don't think anybody is, even Jalen Hurts, who had that shoulder injury that cost him to miss a couple games down the stretch, a couple games for the Eagles that they lost. He's no longer on the injury report, but he said clearly that it's still affecting him. So I think as long as they get to the field and Kyle Shanahan can use them as the chess pieces that he has all year with the different formations, the different schematics, and everything else that, those talents allow him to do, I think they'll be okay. And I think they'll be good enough, physically to be able to play, and maybe they'll rely on a healthier George Kittle or something along those lines. But as long as they're out there and can be somewhat like they were on Sunday against the Cowboys, I think they should be okay.
And we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Not a lot of weaknesses there from the defensive front to the secondary. But one area that may be an opportunity for the 49ers is that run defense, I believe 21st in the league. What can San Francisco do to expose that weakness?
But to stick with it, I think, the Eagles, will self-scout, and Jonathan Gannon, their defensive coordinator, knows that is one of their weaknesses. So I'm sure they're going to, do what they can to stop the run and force Brock Purdy to beat them. But I think if the 49ers, the way they did on Sunday against the Cowboys, stick with it and eventually late in the game, they're able to control the game through the running game, I think they can have similar success. So if at first they don't succeed, try again. That should be the formula for the 49ers this week. And I think eventually they can wear them down like they have most teams throughout this season.
And like we saw them do against Dallas. Well, you mentioned earlier, this is the third trip to the NFC Championship for the 49ers in 4 years. How valuable is that experience for this team, especially when you look at the opponent who hasn't reached that level since their 2017 Super Bowl run?
Well, I think it definitely helps. I think for Philadelphia, though, they have so many core players from that 2017 run, that leadership that they have with Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson, the core guys there. They're strong enough presence in the locker room that I think they'll be able to sort of share, the magnitude of this game, and they'll be ready to go in that regard too. But make no mistake, it is significant to have that experience, to know how to deal with the nerves and the butterflies and everything else that goes along with playing at this level, let alone in a hostile environment that the link is going to be on Sunday, because 49ers fans have been so good over the years that even in places that were once known to be hostile, like a Superdome in New Orleans or in Baltimore, 49ers fans have taken over those stadiums. I don't think that's going to happen in Philadelphia, the way their fans will show up. So to be in that hostile road environment, the experience will come into play certainly for the 49ers, and that should be a benefit for them.
And that's actually where I was headed next. I've been told time and time again, Lincoln Financial Field, an incredibly tough place to play. What exactly is this team walking into atmosphere-wise?
Well, yeah, you're walking into a place that they're probably not going to be selling their tickets to opposing fans. Number one, it's going to be, filled with the green and white and the EAGLES chants, and they're going to be tailgating from early in the morning, and they're going to be hyped up, ready to deliver, for their team and cause as much disruption to Brock Purdy and the offensive line and their communication as possible. So it is the real deal. It is one of the more spectacular places to experience a game in the NFL, and certainly a home field advantage for the Eagles. I think, we probably saw games this year when they got rolling, when they were on prime time, just the electric atmosphere that the Philadelphia crowd can present. So, it is, it'll be a true test in every measure for the 49ers, not only physically on the field, but, mentally with that environment they'll have to navigate.
And we're wrapping this up with one last question. AP Awards finalists were announced earlier today. The 49ers well represented. 5 players and staff members are finalists for those awards. What does that say about an organization that had to deal with the loss of 2 starting quarterbacks and started the year off at 3-4, now to be decorated in that way with a chance to win and then playing in the NFC Championship this weekend?
Yeah, I think it says a lot. And I think even going back to last year, when they were, I think, 3-5 or maybe 4-6 at one point, and eventually got to the NFC Championship game that year, that they are just a tough-minded group. And granted, they are talented. And I think the awards you just mentioned and all the nominations are a testament to that. They do have great talent, but they are tough-minded. They're well coached. I think even just today out in the practice field, seeing the defense going through the paces of trying to keep balls from going out of bounds and knocking it to a fellow defender. I mean, just such small detail this late in the season are the things that show up, and it's a catalyst for why they are here at this level, seemingly year in and year out. So the individual performances, a testament to their talent, but make no mistake, this is a good team. They're bought in collectively, and it's a reason why they'll have a chance to play for the Super Bowl on Sunday.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That was our insider chat from our postseason matchup preview presented by Webex. The 49ers will play in the first matchup of the weekend, and I know, faithful, the team is counting on your support. That's it from us.